Good morning. I know why the preacher put me after the music and hopes no one would go to sleep, right? So everybody's up, ready. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Andie Smith, and the preacher has asked me to talk about this and six long hours of discussion with the deacons, and this just because I like it. Hey, it's only going to take me about 8 minutes, don't worry. Don't anybody leave. Okay. So last week, David Shields talked to you about our values and priorities here at Jersey, and I'm following that up with a trip as we canoe the mountains with Lewis and Clark. This book by Todd Bolsinger will definitely make you think, and basically is comparing the church today with that famous expedition where Lewis and Clark journeyed their way to the Pacific Ocean. I was attracted to the book because Lewis and Clark, the expedition, I find very interesting. However, I admit, when I first started reading, I got a little upset, agitated, even angry about what I was reading. How dare they talk about the church that I'm most familiar with? How dare they talk about the church I grew up in and I continue to grow up in here at Jersey? How dare they say that church is dying? But I kept reading. I answered the questions we were given and participated in the discussions, and slowly I began to understand that Todd Bolsinger did indeed have some valid points. The deacons were given challenging questions, and as we discussed, there was a feeling of unity as we thought about what was most important in our church, what needed to stay, and what the future might look like here at Jersey. And the quote is, "Only meaningful work together will develop the kind of relationships that will endure into uncharted territory." I think of the work the church did so many years ago in West Virginia. I wasn't here then, but in a sense, that was a big step into uncharted territory. We're heading into uncharted territory and are given charge to lead a mission where the future is nothing like the past. And how can we move forward as a church to be faithful to the mission God has put before us when the world has changed so drastically? Meriwether Lewis and William Clark thought the unexplored West had the same geography as the East. So they would get in their canoes and paddle their way to the Pacific Ocean. No problem. Here we go. Well, there are no Rocky Mountains in the East. And I think one of my favorite lines from the book, when the team, the Corps of Discovery, came to the Continental Divide, the Bitterroot Mountains at Montana-Idaho border, and one of the members commented, "They were the most terrible mountains I ever beheld." They planned on rowing, and they thought the hardest part was behind them. But in truth, everything they had accomplished was only a prelude to what was in front of them. The true adventure, the real discovery, was just beginning. It took them 53 days to cross the Continental Divide. And for us, we too face mountains as we reach out to a community where so many are unchurched, unsaved, hungry. Leaders are rapidly coming to the awareness that the world in front of us is radically different from everything behind us. Businesses realize the necessity to change, to update, to adapt or die. And the world. A lot of people did not even leave their home to go shopping. Amazon Prime delivers quickly. Okay, I don't do it. My daughter does it for me if I need to do it. You can even order groceries and have them brought right to your door. Well, actually, that's no new stuff because my granddaddy, many years ago, he had a grocery store and he would take groceries to the elderly who couldn't come to the store and get them. So he started that. No, I'm just kidding. And I watched my 15-month-old daughter pick up my phone and go, I'm like, really? And I listened as Tim Trantham is here today. Okay. Hey, Tim. He told me, Andie, you don't really need a fax machine anymore or an answer machine. He was trying to fix our problems in our house, and it was too overwhelming. Just do everything on your cell phone. And your television, well, you have to change the way you tune in to your shows, your network, this live streaming stuff. And what Tim was really saying to me, adapt or die. And I found myself not being as anxious as usual. So maybe this book did help me. You let go, you learn as you go, and you keep going, no matter what. Lewis and Clark really wanted to make Thomas Jefferson proud, so they knew a change had to happen. The vision they had of rowing smoothly to the ocean was different than expected. But for them, and hopefully for us, the mission trumps every time. If our church really wants to reach the community and share Jesus with them, we too must adapt or die. In a healthy Christian community, the mission wins every argument. Not the preacher, not the church members who give the most money, not those who scream the loudest. I tried. No, the shared missional purpose of the church will trump every other competing value. Like Lewis and Clark, we are being challenged to adapt, to focus on what is most important. Love drives us to hold on to what is dear and life-giving. It is because of love we are willing to change. Now, with all that being said, I am in no way saying the past of Jersey is not important. It is very important and will continue to be. Our past and those who work so diligently before us gives us the drive to continue the good work. The history of Jersey gives us the energy to want to do more, reach more, give more of ourselves. The successes of the past reinforce and remain embedded within and inspire us to do more. Who would have thought a fall festival at Linwood Community Ball Field would have worked? Who would have thought 800 people would have attended? Who would have thought that we could have planned for 2 different groups to go to Belgium on a mission trip and 50 to 60 some on summer mission trips? And look at Awana, the awesome participation. Wednesday nights, the meal, the Bible study, the mission projects. And now we have new together in sight. And as I watch David Shields talk about values and priorities on YouTube, and I look at Jersey on Facebook, the websites, I sometimes have to get out of my canoe and ask for help. We love it, don't we, Becky? How has all this happened? We have chosen to adapt, even adventure, because the mission is the most important thing. And our leadership is challenging all of us. When we think of the 45 members of the Corps of Discovery team and what they were able to accomplish from May 14th, 1804 to September 23rd, 1806, gone for 2 years, 4 months, and 10 days, eating buffalo tongue as a delicacy. How many of you ever had buffalo tongue? Oh, wow, okay. Tell us about it.
In school, in 5th grade, my teacher brought it.
Awesome.
And tasted it. It was lovely.
Okay, well, Lewis and Clark knew. Who knew? Freezing, starving, the making of clothes, forts. And this kind of blew me away. The 338 pairs of moccasins they made at Fort Clatsop. Wow. And only 1 death early on, likely due to appendicitis. The knowledge that Lewis and Clark had, but without the help of an experienced Indian girl, you know I got to get the girl thing in here, Sacagawea, who knew the country and communicate with the Indian tribes, and then the arrival of her little baby, Jean-Baptiste. He scared the Indians away, so they were able to make their journey successful. So without all those people working together, the Pacific Ocean would never have been possible. It is a true lesson of perseverance and adaptation. At Jersey, we want to remain united with a vision and persevere through the terrible mountains. If you can adapt and venture, you can thrive, but you must let go, learn as you go, and keep going, no matter what. That is what Jersey Baptist Church has always stood for, and hopefully will continue to stand for. May we be in prayer as we desire to be the church God wants us to be.